Today we start chapter 4, section 2. This is going to be adding and subtracting matrices. So with the matrix with the same dimensions can be added together, or one can be subtracted from the other. But what we're looking at here is going to be that they are the same dimensions. If they are not, if they have different dimensions, this is not going to be possible. So they have to be, for this example, the first one, it's 3 by 3. The second one is 3 by 3 as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to see an example of one that does work, and I'm going to also show you guys an example of one that doesn't work in just a second. So the first example that's done for you guys, which is also going to be in your notes, this is just going to be find A plus B. If A is the matrix 6, negative 7, 2, negative 12. And B is 4, 2, negative 5, negative 6. So when we're going to go through to add these, we have the 6, which is in the position of 1, 1 in this column. 4 is going to be in position 1, 1 in the second one. So those are going to be the ones that get added together. So we have a 6 right here, 4 right here. These are in the same exact spots of the matrices, so those are the ones that are going to get added together. So we can see that is right here. 6 plus 4 is going to be my new first spot, so that's going to have the position 1, 1 in my new matrix. The second one is going to be negative 7 plus 2. That's because of this negative 7 and then the 2. See, they just dropped down to this exact same spots that they were in. We have 2 and a negative 5. Remember to subtract this one in this case because of the negative being out front. And then we have a negative 12 plus a negative 6. So when we go through and we just do all these, we get 10, negative 5, negative 3, and negative 18. The subtractions on these are going to be done the same way. We're going to take a look at a couple of the problems from you guys' page. We're going to look at numbers 1, 3, and 5. So here I have 8 in the first one. I have negative 4 in the first one here. So I'm going to have, on my new matrix, 8 plus a negative 4. I'm going to have a 7 plus 3, negative 10 plus 2, negative 6 plus a negative 12. Be careful with the negatives on these. Close that. So now I'm just going to simplify these. I got 8 minus 4 is 4. 7 plus 3 is 10. Negative 10 plus 2, negative 8. And negative 6 plus a negative 12 gives me a negative 18. That is going to be my answer for number 1. Number 3. So on number 3, if I count these up, I have 1, 2, 3. So this is a 3 by 1. This one over here, I have just one row with 3 columns. So as we just stated, they have to be the same dimensions. These two matrices are not equal, so this problem is going to be not possible. You can identify that by a null sign, or you could write out not possible. Either one of those would be acceptable answers. You can write their different dimensions, things like that, as long as I understand that you know what you're doing on those ones. Number 5. Number 5 is a 3 by 3 for the first one, a 3 by 3 for the second one. So with these, now I'm going to be able to subtract these. It's important to remember all my numbers get subtracted. So if we write this out like this step, which some of you guys aren't going to do, you're just going to go from here straight over here, which is fine. But when we're doing subtraction, that gets a little bit more tricky. If we write this middle step out, it's going to be easier for us to remember that we're doing subtraction. So I have 8 minus a negative 2. I have 0 minus 1, and then I have negative 6 minus 7. I have 4 minus 3, 5 minus a negative 4, negative 11 minus 3, negative 7 minus a negative 8, if they let me do an 8. There we go. 3 minus 5, and 4 minus 6. So those are going to be the quantities that I have to do to figure out what my matrix is. So when I have my matrix here, it's going to be equal to 8 minus a negative 2 would be the same as adding 2. So you got negative 1. I got negative 6 minus 7, which is going to be negative 13. You guys might want to use a calculator with these again. Don't get tricked up with the negatives. So 4 minus 3 is 1. 5 minus a negative 4 is 9. Negative 11 minus 3 is negative 14. Negative 7 plus 8 is 1. 3 minus 5, negative 2. 4 minus 6 is a negative 2. So right there is going to be my answer for number 5. This one, just by adding one row, one column, became a lot more work than problem number 1 did. It's important when we're doing the subtraction not to get the signs mixed up. So you can plug these into the calculator, but the addition and subtraction are normally quicker to do by hand. We want to make sure on these, though, that we have the signs right. So you can use a calculator, 8 minus a negative 2, whatever you feel most comfortable with on those. I want you guys to get those part correct. Okay, so we're just making sure that on the addition and subtraction we're going with the exact same spot. So this 8 goes with the negative 2. That's the key here. We don't want to get tricked up on the negatives signs on these problems.